They can't see hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars mentally. But
so they only can see.
I've never struggled in my life. I've always been comfortable.
Right.
And I don't know how to live any other way. I like very nice things.
Right.
So I knew coming home, I still have that appetite.
Right.
So I had to do what I had to do to get it and figure out what lifestyle I could, what job I could get to still
maintain your lifestyle. So
without compromising my principle.
Or your freedom.
My freedom, yes.
So let's go back just a little bit. And you were talking about the girl that was the informant. Right. The girl that you were with, and she was doing favors for you, or you gave it all to. So can you tell something to like the young girls, because there's some girl now in the passenger seat of some drug dealer's car.
If you're
it's
out
real.
There and you're dealing with a man, be smart. Hold your own, but be smart. Know that you will be a co-defendant of that man. If you partaking in any of it, just spending the money. If you're going shopping and you spending large sums of money, you're a co-conspirator. Because where am I getting $5,000 or $10,000 to give to you? You know where the money is coming from. I'm not working anywhere. You living in a condo. You living in my house. I'm not working anywhere.
That's real.
You driving my Benz. I done bought you a Benz.
At 21, you got like 4 cars and you got wads of money.
And how can you justify that? You're going to jail. I'm telling you now.
And it's so funny because growing up in South Jersey in the 80s, there were a lot of drug dealers. I know a lot of people that went to jail for selling drugs, a lot of them. And a lot of drug dealers, used to like me or you talk to, but I never, because I was like, I don't know, like I'm not going down for nobody. Right. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be associated with that because.
But it's short lived.
Yeah, but even if you're in that car, because a lot of women are turned on by bells and whistles and the shiny new things. In a car, you driving up to a high school in a BMW, a lot of girls would flock to that. But that type of stuff always scared me because I knew that if I was sitting in that passenger seat and something happened. See, back then, I think it was some of the lower, what I seen. I'm not saying that it was all low level, but to me, all it is cars and chains flash in the 80s. Cash. Think about it. Yeah, flash exactly. In just the flash, like
that's
the
what
old
it is
school.
Again today, flash and no cash. They got the big cars but don't have gas money.
So they fronting. They're fronting basically.
It's not out here like.
And you know what they say? No future in your front.
Right.
So all right. So
can you touch on that one more time?
What?
The part that they're not glamorized, that they're not talking about. I've come home and found my woman tied up in the bathroom.
All right, go ahead.
They're not glamorizing that aspect of the lifestyle or living with the man that's hustling.
That's
You're
deep.
a target.
All right, so explain that situation.
Well, you got a lot of people that are hungry that don't know how to get money. So what do? They sit back and watch the next man who's getting money and say, how can I get to him? How can I get what he has? I'll kidnap his mother. I'll kidnap his girl. I'll kidnap his baby.
See, and most people think that's TV. Like most people's life, they're watching a movie or picture. But you saying that's real.
Right.
So.
And it's a lot of times someone that's very close to you that's pushing those buttons. Because how do you know where I live? How do you know where my son goes to school? How do you know where my mother lives?
That's scary.
There's someone who's with you every day that's setting you up, that's beside you, that's jealous, that's looking at you.
Because they want what you want.
Right.
They don't want you to be the man. They want to be the man.
Right.
But now they the man next to the man, next to the man, next to the man. Right. They all the way down here.
And they chewing rocks. Every time they see you, they chewing your back out.
So did somebody tie up your girl? For real?
Yes.
What? Like how did
they couldn't get to me because I stayed ready.
So your girl lived with you,
right? And
they came to the address.
Right.
They thought you were there, or they knew you weren't there.
I think they watched me leave, and they ran up, and then they got a big safe with a Rolex bracelet and the ring that goes to it. No money.
So they
went a big safe that they probably.
So they tied her up to harm her or to steal from you.
Get her out of the way while they looted the house. Asked where did I go? How long before I come back? And they tore the house up and left her. Once she told them where the safe was at, they grabbed the safe and looked around, tore everything up and left.
That's crazy. So
they took one car. They took one of my cars.
How old was this girlfriend at the time?
She was either 18 or I was 20, so she was like 18, 19.
All right, ladies, young ladies, listen. His girlfriend, he was 20 at the time. She was 18. She was involved, like he said. She's getting her hair done, probably getting her nails done, having all these bags. Riding in cars, cash to do whatever, unlimited cash, doing what she wanted to do, traveling if she wanted, whatever she wanted to do with the money. And he's saying that there's a consequence for that. Like, can you imagine those of you that are 18 yourself, or you have an 18-year-old child, niece, cousin, aunt, whoever, gets tied up at 18 years old because of her drug dealer boyfriend. They're trying to get what you have. Is it really worth it? Like, you can work and get your job and get your hair done too. Because I worked it. I got my hair done not every 2 days, but every 2 weeks.
Who's gonna say what those guys gonna do to you in that house while they got you?
Right, and that's the scary part.
You built.
Because they could have raped her. They could have did whatever they.
Off, any type of thing. Only thing is, it was older guys that did it. Had it been little young guys,
they would have probably hurt her for real. And that's really something to think about, because a lot of girls get turned on by the glitz and the glamour and the bright lights and the fancy cars.
Know the dangers.
See, that's deep, and I'm glad that you said that. I'm so glad that you said that. So one last thing about your mom, she got out 10 years.
Yes.
And I know you told me
November 2000.
Your mom came home November 2000,
yes.
And I know you told me she fought to get you out.
Yes, very
okay.
Very
and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I just wanted to say, like we touched on, why do you think that so many black men resort to selling drugs? Because across this country, in the hood, in urban areas, whatever you want to call it, a lot of young black men sell drugs. That's just the way it is.
And I think it's because of a lack of patience. We want it now. We want it fast.
Right.
And the lifestyle, with the right situation, you can get rich overnight.
So, because you were saying he already told you guys he made $100,000 a day, a week. That's the same thing. $100,000 a week. I don't even make that in a year, not even close to it. So that's like, you do feel invincible at that point. Like, you're not going to get that working at at IHOP or at the local whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But
so is that what enticed you?
We're young. When you're young in the hood and you seeing guys with the big chains, the big cars, and all that,
you want to know how you can get it.
Man, what can I do to get that? Can I get down? We want to be down. We want to feel accepted. A lot of us have crackhead mothers, dope fiend mothers who don't have nothing. I was blessed to not have that situation. I didn't have that, but I had a mother who dealt with hustler men.
Right.
And 7, 8 years old, I got gold chains and rings and all of that.
Right.
So I was addicted from that standpoint.
Because you saw these men coming in your house and they had all the rings and the furs and the nice cars. So you looking like, when I grow up, that's going to be me. That's what I'm going to get. Right. And that's deep and that's real, because a lot of people look at that and how can I be down? Did an older guy put you down as a young kid as far as selling drugs? Like, how did you get involved?
No one ever put me down. I started from the bottom.
Like, how? All right, don't laugh at me, but how do you start, like, selling drugs? I know that they're out there. Like, do you walk up to somebody? Like, how does that work?
Well, when you're in the hood, you know who the man is.
So you just go up and be like, I want to work for you?
No, with me, it was a buy and sell relationship. Like I said, I never worked for anyone. I never had anybody say, here, sure, to get on. Here, make yours, bring me this. I've never had that.
So you just did it?
Always, from a young kid, I used to always stick up. I got a twin cousin that looks just like me. We used to run around robbing everybody. So didn't have to. But it's addictive. It's addictive lifestyle.
So how old were you when you started robbing?
13.
So you were a stick-up kid. Mm-hmm. And what were you getting? A couple dollars and some jewelry?
Big chains.
Yeah. Purses and stuff coats. Like that. Oh, dag. That's in the 80s for real.
Whatever was happening at that time. If I wanted it and I saw it and the opportunity presented itself.
Because the mindset is not at 13 in the hood that, I can work and go get that. You like, they got it, I want it. Is that how it is? You know what I'm saying? I'm not a young black male in the hood, so I don't know. That's why you're here. It was that
and having negative people around you. Because, like I said, I got a twin cousin.
Was it peer pressure?
I'm the good cousin, and he's the evil cousin.
And then he kind of peer pressure?
When he gets together with them ideas, I'm with it. My heart is crazy, so you want to do a bet, let's go get it. And I always had guns, but I could never trust him.
Did you have guns at 13?
Yes. I couldn't trust him to put my gun in his hand, so I'd be like, come on, we're going to go together.
But wait, at 13, it's like, but to some people watching, they're going to be like, at 13, it's easy to get a gun. And then some people like, he had a gun at 13? How did he get a gun at 13? So how did you get a gun at 13?
Well, we grow up fast, I'll say.
Okay, so you could just get, I'm going to say it like this. So on the streets, you can get whatever you want to get.
You can, but I was always smart.
Okay.
And my mother had a house in a place called Owings Mills. It's a county.
Right.
And I was
Baltimore, it's a suburb for
Right.
those of you that
And I
weren't
was the
watching
only
Baltimore County.
Baltimore City guy that lived out there, and they all
And
looked
back
up to
then,
me. Right.
and this for you guys that are watching that aren't from the Baltimore area, to come from the city to Baltimore County, that's like you moved up. Like the
Right.
Jeffersons, like you in the city, you in the hood, that hood life. Now you move to a deluxe apartment in
Right.
the sky. Now it's the county,
Right.
and it's a little different. It's like suburban area.
Right. Better schools.
Right, better school,
Less
better
crime.
living, less crime,
At that
quiet
time.
at the
Right.
time. Right, exactly.
It's off the
So
hook now.
yeah, everything. But it's, you know what? I think everybody's just going buck wild all over the place.
I agree. Once
And
they
then a
put
lot of people
projects
from the
down, they
city
send
are
everybody
coming to the county.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a lot of things going on, and a lot of the city people are coming to the county with the county kids, kind of like telling them about stuff they had no clue about before, because you do grow up faster. Would you say, like in the city,
Of course.
than the county?
You deal with, like, you got county guys who out there never had a fight, but in the city you're gonna have a fight. You're gonna be on the block
Multiple.
playing. We play karate. We fight on the porches. You know, that's just tough living growing up in the county.
You from Baltimore
a lot
City,
of your
right,
parents
Diamond?
want to shield you. They don't want to see you out there fighting. So you might have never had a fight.
Right,
In the city, it's impossible to grow up and never had a fight.
right.
School's
deep.
going to try you. You know, it's very serious. But how I used to trick guys to get guns at a young age. I'm 13, 14 years old. I'm out there with the little white kids. Hey,
In
my mom
Owensville.
has a gun and she keeps it under her.
Oh, that's what the little white kids were saying.
Oh,
Oh,
my dad has a gun and he keeps it under his bed. Oh yeah, but when your dad go to work, I'm breaking in that house. And I would break up and get that.
that's what my mom used to say when I was young. You don't tell everybody what's in your
Yeah,
house.
that's
You
right.
don't invite everybody in the house, because you don't know. People could be like looking at your house to rob your house, or looking at you to see. And you talk. So you're 13 and you already a master manipulator,
Exactly.
because you were manipulating these little white kids that they ain't even see it coming.
They ain't even
This
see it.
this dude from the city is
Right.
coming, and you're just saying
Thing.
false things
I'm baiting
to try
them.
to right at 13.
Right. I'm
So I
baiting
know at 20 you were off the chain.
them, pretty much.
I know you were at 13.
In a
that
better
you
way,
were.
but still, I was misguided.
Right. And why? Where did
Okay.
you? Was your father in the home? What do you
No.
think? So do you think that has anything to do
Single
with
parent
it?
on my mother. I won't blame that on
No,
her.
it's
My
not
mother did a
about
great job.
blame. It's not about blame. But do you think that has something to do with it?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
So you just think you did what you wanted to
Because I'm going to say no, because my mother raised me. I went to prison. I was a mama's boy. I went to prison a young man and came out a stronger man.
do. Okay. That's real.
You know, so I can't say not having a father played a part, because if I used that, I would be out here switching down with lipstick on. I didn't have a father. All I had was my
That's
mother.
true.
I was
That's what
playing with
people
baby
say.
dolls as a little kid, so
That's
I won't
true.
use that as a scapegoat.
That's good.
We got to make the most out of whatever our circumstances are.
Because
You
I
can't
do
use the
think
blame,
I
you
was
gotta
raised.
step up.
I mean, my father's always been around. I've known him, but he wasn't in the same state. So I
Right.
was raised as a single, by a single mother also. And you're right. Sometimes when there is a father in the home, the kids don't turn out any different
Right.
than the ones, with a father in the home. It depends on the mom and how strong that mom is,
That's right.
and what she's instilling in you. Because you said your mom kind of really tried to guide you. Did she realize that what you were doing at 13? Or
She
you
never knew.
No, because
She
you would
found
come
out
home.
much later when she was searching around in my room. We were having an argument. She found a sawed-off shotgun, found a mask.
And how old were you?
Maybe 16, 17.
All right, so
Maybe
your
a little
mom.
younger, because she put me out, and I left home at 15 and never went back.
So your mom was going through your room at 15 and found a sawed-off shotgun
mask.
and a mask, meaning like you were robbing people.
Right.
Like I'm trying to figure out like what goes through a mother's head when she's like, you thinking about that little sweet little baby you brought home from the hospital. Now you fast forward 15 years.
She hit 911.
She called the police on you. Did they come get you, or you
ran.
left before they came?
Yeah, of course.
Because she probably was like, what's going on?
Because she wanted to turn the gun in and all that stuff. So I mean, it's tough love, but that's what mothers have to do today.
I just want to read something. I was looking on the NAACP website,
Yes, ma'am.
and talking about drug sentencing. Let's see. About 14 million whites and 2.6 million African American report using illicit drugs. 5 times as many white are using drugs as African Americans. Yet African Americans are sent to prison for drug offenses 10 times the rate of white people. African Americans represent 12% of the total population of drug users, but 38% of those arrested for drug offenses, and 59% of those in state prison for drug offenses. Exactly. So were a lot of people that look like you in jail for drug offenses?
Yes, with long outrage. How do you give a man 3 years, 3 life sentences in 500 years? I mean, that's...
Because some people I know some people for murder get off
20 years,
less time than
10,
somebody that's
15
selling drugs. Why do you think that is? Because a lot of young black men sell?
Because they fear black men that can think, that know how to get money. They fear wealthy black men. Jay-Z's, Puffy's, all that. They don't like them. They don't like seeing a young black man that can rub shoulders with them, that's intelligent enough to get money. We ignorant. It's the easiest thing to do is pick up a gun and act stupid. It's hard to get money and know what to do with it, be intelligent with that money. And they fear that. So they rather keep putting a man out there with that gun in his hand that's killing our own people. That's why Baltimore got a murder rate like it did.
I know, because this, I forgot what it was as of now, but it was ridiculous. I think it was like 700 and something
But
homicides.
Outside 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, even though it's your right to.
Right.
What's going on out there?
But you know, if you ride through any street in the hood of Baltimore City, people are outside all times of nights, like sitting on the stoop, sitting on the step.
See me out there.
And that's good. I'm glad you won't be out there. But that's real.
Yes,
like, that's real life. I mean, I've seen it 100 times. And I just, let me see what else. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to read? Crime and drug arrest rates for African Americans represent 12% of the monthly drug users, but comprise 32% of the persons arrested for drugs. Let me see. Jail reduces work time for young people. Nah, that's not what I wanted to read. I'll get back to that later. So you talked about that. Let's see. So is there anything else you want to talk about before I ask my next question? Because I asked this one about what you heard, what was your feeling like? You know what I mean, when you got that sentence. So at that point, you thought your life was over for the most part.
My life as a free man was over, but life is never over. As long as there's breath in this body, I'm good.
So what do you tell, and amen to that, that's for real. Like, what do you tell someone that's living the lifestyle now? They got the cars, they got the, you know, they got the Rolexes, they got the girls, they taking trips,
get out,
then yachts.
Get out. If it's a way out, take it. It's not worth it. I had it all. I did it all. I traveled all around the world, slept with all the women I wanted to sleep with, had all the sexual fantasies I wanted. But at the end of the day, that 22 years I was in there walking around men, smelling other men using the bathroom and hearing other men moan at night and around men all day. I love women. So how do you think it feels to be surrounded by men 22 years?
That's a long time, David.
It wasn't worth it to me. That lifestyle, that short-lived, that little 3-4 years that I thought I was the man, it was all about me, was not worth the 22. It doesn't balance out. Because
there's somebody out there right now trying to live that. Or they might have heard about you, and you talked about Big Beach earlier. They heard about that.
That's the only way, and it's not.
To get money or to get girls.
And see what you like and find a profession that you know pays, and that's what I did when I was in prison. Even though I was cutting up, acting crazy, still.
Because you were transferred to 10 different prisons.
And I never quit getting money.
So you were, what do you mean, you were working in prison, or you were getting money from the outside?
I was still doing illegal activities in prison.
In prison.
To carry on a lifestyle and take care of people and
like, what are some of the things, if you could talk about, like, what, like, so you paying girls' phone bills from in prison? And
light bills, I mean, whatever, paying them to come and, you know,
have sexual relations,
whatever the situation might be.
So did you have a cell phone in prison?
Never.
Okay.
Phones got you caught up because they take the phones and they take the chip out, and every number that's on it that you dial, if it's on your phone list, they got you. So
did you have any, and I hear
I
that.
had access to them, but I never wanted to mess with the phone.
Okay. So you didn't have.
I was loving what I was into. Everybody got their own little niche. That wasn't my thing.
What was your niche? Like, what did you?
Continuing to get money.
Right, any way that you can in there. Is that why some of the you got transferred
Extortion, assaults. a lot of suspicion of things. I got away with a lot of stuff. I was accused of a lot of stuff, under investigation for a lot of stuff.
In prison?
Yeah, when they put you under investigation for 6 months and then another 6 months, and they can't catch you, but they got people dropping notes, what they call kites, telling the police, hey, Mo's selling all the drugs, he the one got this and that, but they can't catch you with nothing. Then they just send you to another jail.
So so you were selling drugs. You continue what you were doing on the streets
Most
in
definitely.
jail.
Most
Is that easy to do? Like, do people do that often? Because you
Everyone
hear
does
that, so everyone does it, and I hear
You
that.
got to do with a life sentence. Who wants to do life sober?
That's deep.
Who wants to do life sober? You're going to make wine, you're going to drink it, you're going to shoot dope, whatever you can do to escape the reality of, I'm never coming home. My release date says, upon decease, I will be released. That means they're going to release your body to someone. If someone to take it, if someone is still alive to bury you. You know, you watching your mother die, your father die, and all that. You need to escape that reality. Like, almost everybody died on me when I was both grandmothers died, both grandfathers died. My father died, a bunch of aunts, and
you couldn't come.
No.
Like, you couldn't
But
go
I
to
blocked it all out. Like I said, I didn't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. Let me do this. Let me deal with my burden. I can't handle what's going on out there.
So, but do you, like, at some point, like, are you ever in touch with your emotions in prison, or do you really just cut it all off? Like, I know you feel, you said you cry inside, internally, but did you ever have a moment where you were like, this is crazy, like, I can't take this?
My first time breaking week out of 22 years was when my sentence changed, when Obama changed the crack.
And I'm gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna talk about that later.
That was my first time breaking. I'm like, these crackers getting ready to let me go.
So when your first night in prison, that was still a night that you thought that this is going to be my life. What was that like the first time?
My first night in prison or
Yeah.
my first night in jail? Because
Okay.
when you're over Baltimore
And
City
explain
jail,
the difference, because some people don't know. Like I just asked you.
well, one thing I'll say, Baltimore City Jail, if anyone has been over there, they know that's a training ground. If you can, they got a saying, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
So
Like
it's
a lot
hardcore.
of guys, very.
The jail.
Yes, the guys from New York who've been to Baltimore City Jail will tell you it's way tougher over Baltimore City Jail than Rikers Island.
What makes really?
They
What
killing.
makes it?
They
So
killing in there. They
so you
robbing
might
in there.
not
They
even.
raping in there. Everything that goes on in prison goes on in Baltimore City Jail. If you're not a man, it's going to be tested. They got guys that make you stand in the toilet with your feet in the toilet, shaking my milkshake, make all the boys come to the yard.
Wait, so you putting your feet in the toilet.
And they disgrace you. Sing this
What you
song.
mean? Okay, so I'm just picturing you standing in the toilet,
And you
and they just
singing my
make you sing my
milkshake.
milkshakes bring
Yeah,
all the
yes.
What?
Just to belittle you.
Right, to show you that you're a
not
punk.
man.
That
Right.
you're a punk. They're trying to
Right.
punk you.
Right.
And
you
then
got
they're
guys-
singing it because they don't want to get
They don't
got any kind of way.
Right. And they just setting themselves up for what goes with prison life.
So if you come in like that, then they already know you're weak.
You
So
gonna-
as the
you gonna
whole
be
time you're in
somebody's
there, you're going to be somebody's,
Or you going to join the gang and hope that they can save you.
that's real.
And then you got a lot of guys who join Islam, become Muslim,
Yeah,
thinking that that'll save them. And a lot
Yeah.
of times it will, because the Muslim be like, you're not going to bother the brother.
yeah.
You know.
So it's,
As long
I mean,
as you're
like the
doing
stuff
right,
that you hear.
y'all
Yeah.
can't bother.
Because I have a lot of clients that I have, and I think I told you, I don't know if I told you, but a lot of them are correctional officers.
Right.
And a lot of women, if anybody's been following the news in Baltimore, I can't think of his name right now, but the inmate that was there that got all the girls pregnant, and they were all seeing him
Tavon
doing, yes,
White.
exactly, Tavon White. They were doing all of these favors for him. That real? Like,
Very
you
much
seen?
so.
So there are a lot of men that sleep with the female correction
Very much
officers,
so.
and there's a lot of male
with
correction
that-
officers that sleep with the male inmates, right?
The thing with that is, men and women, it's our nature to attract.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man and a woman is around each other long enough and they're hearing each other's conversation long enough, if you entertain my conversation, it's a possibility that eventually we will do something.
Right.
It's something about me you're gonna like. It's something about you I'm gonna like, and we're eventually gonna attract, and something is gonna happen.
Because some of the female officers will risk their jobs, as we
Right.
seen with Tavon
Because
White
they
and a
think
lot
they're
of
in
people,
love.
because they think they're. But I guess so. Being behind
Yeah,
bars
all
or
the time
being
in the
locked
world
up,
is read and study all the books to learn how to.
manipulate.
Right.
So some of these women really think like, because I guess I always thought, like, when I had this one correctional officer client, and she was telling me, and I said, okay, what do they see in the guys that are locked up
Oh,
forever?
Cut up And then most women that are female correctional officers have low self-esteem. That's why they got bad attitudes.
I've heard that.
You can look at a woman's body language, how she walks with her head down and all that, and we pick.
And you play on that.
We pick them.
So you know who you can manipulate. You can.
Man, you look good today, man. You smelling good. What type
right.
Of there's certain things.
Right.
That little comment
can got you think.
You.
So next day you spraying on a little more, putting a little more eyeliner on.
Sash in your wall.
Right. Because now, first, and it's a lot of people with low self-esteem, a lot of females that they don't get the attention on the outside. They don't get people hollering and hooting at them. Now they're getting it.
How was your day?
Right.
Ain't nobody ever asked me that. My day was fine.
So you guys play on that, because in that way you can get them to help you with illegal activities. Right. Even just the simple stuff like bring me food.
Once I get you to bring anything, it's on.
And then you know.
You done call my, it's the same penalty for a sandwich as a pack of cigarettes or.
But this is the thing, and so those are the same. So it doesn't matter what you bring, cigarettes or a sandwich, it's the same fine.
Same penalty, same.
But that's what I don't understand. But how some correctional officers, the females or even the males, risk losing their jobs and their careers and feeding their families to help an inmate for a temporary, where you got, like, let's just say 45 years of life, you're never getting out. So at the time,
but you can never say never, because
right, exactly, that's true. That's true. So any other corrections officers that you hollered at, or did you, once you get out, did you try to make a relationship with them? Exactly. Exactly.
But I never messed with none of that. Okay. I had an opportunity to, but I never did.
Okay. Why? You just
out of fear.
Okay. Because you didn't want your time extended. Did your time ever get extended while you were in there?
No, I had good time taken, but I never got time added on. But the fear of, man, this woman going to scream rape if we get caught.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because I heard that the men do it too. I heard like the male
females. You got a lot of men that aren't scared, but I out of fear. I should make my move. And they stand there ready and in my room, and
but plus you already had people bringing you women doing favors and sexual favors and things like that. Right. So you weren't like pressed, whereas some people were pressed. Right. Is that the exam being called?
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I heard it. I'm like, wait a minute.
My phone was on.
Oh no. So all right. So let's see. We'll move right along. All right. So how did you manage your time while you were in prison? Did you work? You pray? You work out? What did you do?
I took correspondence courses.
Okay.
They have what you call adult CCE, adult. Continuing education. Right. I took a lot. Every class. In every prison I went to, I took every program that they had. So when the law changed, it wasn't hard for me to get my departure. So
did you go in with a high school diploma?
Yes. I went in with a GED.
Okay, so you went in there with a GED. College. Before you even got locked up, you had gotten your GED. Yes. And then some college courses. Yes. So then when you went in, like, what were some of the courses that you took?
What I'm into now, CDL.
Okay. So you can take a CDL class in prison?
All the book work. You can't do the driving.
Right. You would come back. You drive that big truck away.
Right. So the CDL, math classes, reading classes, the course.
So you were exercising your mind.
Right.
You were making the best of your time.
A lot of reading. I read every black novel.
What was one of your favorite ones? Because I like to read. That's why I'm asking.
Well, my favorite author is Sidney Sheldon.
Okay, yeah, that's a good author.
Sands of Time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
So that's
Sidney Sheldon. That's my favorite author.
Okay, so and did you discover while you were there? Is that what, like, author you discovered while you were there?
I never read.
Okay. You had time to read because you were hustling. You were trying to make that money. Okay. Exactly. All right. So let's fast forward. At the 20-year mark, you're in jail or prison. You went all the way through. Now that 20-year, and you're in your groove, so you running it. You're not thinking. So at the 20-year mark, you're not even thinking about freedom.
I didn't think about freedom after like my second, third year. Because the reality, why I think about something that's so far away.
Okay, so the first 3 years you were thinking.
94, my release date 2030. So how can I think about 2030 and we still
from
in the
1991?
90s? Right, I got locked up, but I got to Leavenworth, Kansas, October the 30th, 92 is when they finally transferred. I've been sentenced.
And when was your release date? Let me talk right here.
I think my release date was like September 18th, 2030. Because I know it was a couple of days. My birthday is September 12th. It was a few days
2030.
after my birthday.
And you're in 1990, because in 1991, like we're in the 2000s now, we know that that's close, but in 1991, the 2000s was like,
still
wasn't
not
even,
close.
no, it's not, but at least in the 2000s and 91, remember, I don't know if you remember, they were saying, oh, the world's going to blow up, or we're
Right.
going to be like the
Watch it. I watched
Jetsons and all of
that
that. So you watched all that, so you were very familiar with what was going on the
Exactly. Of course,
outside.
you watch news
What
every
are
day.
some of, that's what I was going to ask you, what are some of the things that you guys watch in prison?
Everything y'all watch out there.
Everything.
See, when I first fell, the feds had cable, so we had everything. All the big fights, the Mike Tyson's. All
So
the
y'all in there
pay-per-views.
just, you seeing everything we're seeing.
Right,
You just,
and they got jealous. Somebody got to speak. Now they in the feds and they got cable TV. They got something that some of us out here don't even have.
that's true.
So they took all the Cinemax, Showtime, and
Well, Cinemax is Skinemax. I don't think
Right.
they needed to give y'all
they
that,
took
no
all
way.
those channels and just gave us basic cable. So we got the BET, the MTV, all of
So you're all in there watching the BET Awards.
the what's the X-rated one they got with the guy with the card swiping it?
Oh, uncut.
Uncut. All
Yeah.
we watching all.
You talking about Nelly?
Yes.
Tip drill. So y'all in there watching that stuff in
staying
there.
up because the TV stay on depending on where you at.
Okay.
Each prison runs itself differently.
So are you in?
You in
Are
a
you
cell
in
and
a
the TV
cell?
might be on the wall.
Okay,
And
so
if you're-
it's not an open like
No,
dorm
it depends
type
on where you
style.
at. Like the last prison I came home from, Allenwood. I was in Allenwood.
Where's Allenwood?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And I was in a dormitory environment. That's the worst thing you could ever live in. I'd rather live in a cell. in a
Why?
dorm
Wow,
because
that's
You got 3 stalls, and you get to see just how nasty people are. You waiting to use the bathroom. You got to do the number 2. It's 3 people in there. You got to wait. You want to brush your teeth. You get up in the morning. People got spit all in there. People done snotted nose. It's
disgusting.
But if I'm in my cell, I might be in a 1 or 2 man cell.
So it's only
I got
2
my
people.
cellie in check.
But it's no door or anything, so you really gotta just do your
Right,
business
but
like
no,
right
we're in
there.
the cell.
Yeah, it's
No,
no.
it's a door. They lock you down every
No,
day.
I'm talking about
In a
for the
dormitory.
bathroom. There's no. It's just a toilet in the
No,
cell.
And the cell is no, it's no door around it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
Ain't
you
no
doing?
privacy once you go to prison.
Yeah,
There's no privacy. Ain't no
privacy is a luxury that
right.
we have.
Like now, I will get naked anywhere. Like I have no.
Just don't get naked
No,
here.
I'm just saying I don't care because I've
Because
been
you're
naked
used
so
to
much.
it.
They didn't took that from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that I guess when you think about that, that is pretty. That's a trip.
Right.
All right. So how was your faith at that point? At 20 years, when you knew that was almost over, like what was your faith strong at that point?
Well, I wasn't dealing with faith. I was more so dealing with survival.
Okay.
Like, I got to go through this. I'm not going to wash nobody's drawers. I'm going to go in here, man. I'm coming out a man. And I was preparing myself mentally and physically.
Right.
Because I'd never done a push-up. I'd never done a sit-up.
Until you went to prison?
Right.
Oh.
So now I know I got to start getting my mind
Your weight
and
up.
my body
Yeah.
ready. I went to jail. I was 140 pounds. I
Uh-huh.
came out 210.
Wait, so you were 140 when you went? So you a little bitty
I
thing.
was tiny.
So that gotta be hard at 140 going
pounds,
into
yes.
going into. Make sure you speak.
Yes.
So going into prison, you a little
140
thing.
pounds.
I'm not even 140 pounds
Yes,
now.
it was rough.
So all right, so tell the people how you got sentenced to 45 years,
Yes.
and then but that was in 1992 when you were
That was
sentenced.
October 5th, 1992.
Right, and now tell the people when you got out and how you got out, because everybody knows it's not 2030.
Well, I obtained my freedom January 6, 2013. I became a free man. And it happened over.
So you haven't even been out
the
2
great
years.
President Obama, when he first got elected, when he was first going through the process of being elected, he used to always speak about what they call a crack law. And at that time, it was 100-to-1 ratio, meaning if you got caught with 1 kid crack, it was like getting caught with 100 keys of cocaine. I only got 1 kid crack.
But
you
cocaine
sentenced
is
me-
crack, ain't it?
Right. You only adding a little baking soda and water.
And cooking it.
Right. And cooking it.
All right, so
And they would sentence you as if you had 100 keys of cocaine. And that's why
so
I got
with one, you saying
540.
with one, I don't want to say pebble and sound crazy, but one rock.
It would be like you had 100 rocks of cocaine. That's why it's impossible to not go to jail for crack. If you got any type of crack charge, you're going to jail.
And a lot of black men were selling crack.
Right,
Let's
at
be
that
real.
time.
White men were selling cocaine, and young black males were selling crack.
So the law was racist. And
Okay.
Obama, during his first term, he said, if I get in office, I'm going to change this law. because it's it's racist. And when he got in office, he did just that. He changed the law from 100 to 1, which I think is still unfair, but he made it 18 to 1. And that 18 to 1 brought my sentence from 45 years to 25 years. And at that time, I had 22 in. And it
So, but you
put me out
also
17 years too.
So you also said your mom, when she got released, she fought
She
to
did her
get you
time.
out.
Yes, she did. Vehemently.
You said she was contacting
Lawyers, senators, governors.
because she was well connected in Baltimore.
Right,
your mom,
very
so
strong.
she wasn't going to stop. To that's a mother's love.
Right.
Like that's I'm out now. I
She
can
had
help.
The prayers that a lot of people prayed, and I just vowed I wasn't going to come out here
And do the same thing.
right and make her look bad or disappoint her. I did enough damage and harm to that woman's life.
How was your mom? Is she all right now?
She's great.
That's one. I saw a picture of her.
Right.
I think I was joking. I said, "Look at her looking like Cookie off Empire." And your mom had her fur coat on. I said, "Look at her looking like Cookie."
And to see me now in the state that I'm in now, she loves it.
'Cause-
She's very proud.
And that's a beautiful thing. So you got out 22 years, even though your sentence was reduced to 25.
Right.
So that first day, when they told you,
I cried.
you were getting out. So how long?
I cried when my mother. I call home every Sunday.
Okay.
So I didn't worry nobody. And then every Sunday I would call my mother
Okay.
and just talk to her when she came home.
Okay.
And she knew if I didn't call on a Sunday, I was in a hole.
Okay. And the whole is
Lock up.
lock up. Like you're just solitary confinement.
You're in a room. You might be in a room with 5 men or 1 man, but it's no 1 hour record day. 23 and 1 they call it. Locked
So
up 23 hours. Shower in the cell. Everything is in the cell.
So
They
20.
feed
So
you
you
and
locked
all.
up for 23 hours, and then
Yes.
1 hour.
You come out for rec if you want rec. It
Right.
might be raining outside. You don't want rec. 'Cause it's just a gate out there. You inside of a little square gate.
Yeah.
So you're going to get wet. Or it might be snowing or, who knows what the situation might
So
be.
okay, so you called your mom that Sunday, and she told you what? Like, what did she say?
Baby, you sitting down? I said, what's up? No, she emailed me. The feds had just got email. So she emailed me, it's an emergency, call home.
So
And
you can get
every time-
emails in prison.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just new. It's something they just started.
Okay.
And every time she asked me to call home emergency, somebody died.
Oh.
So I'm like, who done died now? So I'm hesitant going to the phone. So I went to the phone and called her. She's like, baby, you sitting down? I say, Ma, just tell me what's up. She's like, they changed your sentence. You coming home.
Like how soon? How soon
I
before
had
you
to
came
wait.
home?
See, the judge can order you to come home, but he has to file the paperwork. The paperwork got to be sent to the jail.
So how long does that
Jail-
take?
It took about 4 months after that for me to get home. And every day
I've
I
been
know I'm
doing
going home.
cartwheels, break dancing.
But that's the worst
I'd have
time
been-
because when you know you're not getting out, you good.
But
Then
now you
when
like
know
counting down.
Right, when you know you get out,
right.
but you don't know when. Like when you got a
Oh.
release date, your last year is probably the hardest because now you're counting down that year.
Right.
But when your date is 30, 40 years away, you just living every day regular.
Right. 'Cause
Now
know
you
this is
start
your
having a
life.
hard time sleeping. Now I'm going home 2 days from now. The last day they say some people don't sleep, but I didn't have any problems sleeping.
So all right. So who picked you up when you got out?
My mother.
And what was that reunion? Because that was a reunion.
Like I say, that was my only. I went hard all those years in the penitentiary, and I broke down when it was time to come home.
And
I
you
couldn't believe it. And guys was watching me on the phone. When I'm on the phone with my mother, and she told me, "Baby, you coming home? They changed your sentence." I instantly started crying, but it was silent tears. It was just tears coming down my eyes. And a couple of my men walked past. They like, "Slim, what's up?" Because they thinking something wrong.
Yeah.
They seeing me. They never saw me cry.
Yeah.
So to see me crying and they thinking it's pain, but it's tears of joy. I'm like, yo, these crackers done effed up. They getting ready to let me out. But my mind is going to the old me.
Right.
I'm thinking negative thoughts. I'm
Right.
gonna get out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
So when you knew you released, you thought you were gonna go back to the streets.
No, it was just
a mindset.
Just a second. I'm
Okay.
like, these crackers are messed up. The old
Right.
me is
Right.
speaking, but
Right.
my heart is not saying this.
Right.
These are words.
Right. Because you
So-
had to justify your tears. You had to
Right.
still
No,
kind of hold
just,
that.
Just the reality, man, these crackers really getting ready, they really getting ready to let me go, like really. So I went and got in the shower and cried it all out. I got it all out. And then when I walked out the gate and I saw my mother, my father, and my cousin outside the gate, and I was kind of scared to walk out the gate because they do what they call DNA before you leave to see if you ever did anything and got away with it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, man, I done a lot of heinous stuff. So I say, man, I hope my DNA come back.
So they do DNA while you're in prison, like the things that you've done in prison?
And then they'll come and re-indict you.
Oh.
For some of the stuff, like guys getting caught for rape now.
Yeah.
It's something that innocent people locked up for. Or you might have killed somebody and somebody cut your hand, or you left blood behind on the scene. That's your DNA.
Oh.
So the whole time, I'm like, I'm going to walk out this gate, man. These people might grab me for anything, a lawful item. I don't know what could have happened.
Right.
Walking out this gate.
Right.
And then, I got to walk. And when I first was in there putting on my clothes, I'm like, is this real? Putting on my shoes, my little outfit. Finally, I got
Did you have the same clothes that you went in with? Or wasn't like, I'm going to get you something?
No.
You ain't come out with some fish tank shoes?
By no
like,
means.
okay.
I had people pick everything out.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't have any sense of fashion. I didn't know.
Yeah, because you didn't know what the hottest and the latest and the greatest.
I'm like, I don't want no horseshoe. I got some on now.
Oh, true religion.
I don't want no horseshoe on my butt.
So they had you styling when you came out. You were looking right.
Yeah,
okay.
They definitely.
And that must have been a happy reunion. What advice would you give the youth that are thinking about hustling, jail, and thug life? Like, that's the way to go. Like, what advice would you give some of the kids?
From a man who walked that walk all the way through as a man, never told on anybody, never crossed nobody, lived it all, did it all. You don't want it.
Because you turned your life like all the way around.
Yes,
Tell the people, and I mean, when you were telling me your story at first, like when you first came out, just take us through the series quickly of the job, like what happened. You went to the halfway house and you got a jail, and then, like as you got out.
Well, when I first came home, I took whatever job I could get.
Okay.
I worked for a company called NCIA.
Okay.
Where I sat and actually dealt with the mentally impaired.
So you didn't have a problem getting a job, and then now
the average man that comes home, he has, I never wipe a window, I never do this. But you got to do something to get money. No one's just going to give you money. Even though people bless me, like I told you, someone gave me a car. I got 2 cars out of the deal. I got a few $1,000s from the streets. Men recognize men.
When you came, like they said, welcome home, and they took care of you. They gave you a car.
Put $1,000 in your hand, $500 in your hand. That's their way of saying, my man, you stood up. That's what they think your freedom is worth.
So they come to try to say that they're helping you because of what you've been through.
And it helps. It buys clothes and stuff. I mean, you got to remember, I did 22 years. I went in 140 pounds. I came out 210. I could fit nothing.
Right. And plus, you didn't want to fit the clothes you wore in 1991 anyway.
Right, but I had to start all the way over.
So I just want to tell you guys, like David, you got a good job. He made more than me. He came out. He's a truck driver with his CDL license. He came out. He got a great job, and then he got a job, then another job, then another job. Each job, and then remember, he's only been out since January 2013. So you've had several jobs to lead to this job, and each one was paying more and building your I guess your resume in a sense. So he got he got his jobs, and he just closed on his house on July 31st. Yeah. So he bought a house. He has a great job. He's turned his life completely around. Like I told him, some people are sitting out here and been out and haven't made the strides that you made since you've been out. Like, you weren't playing any games. It's like I said, it's not even 2 years. So when you came out, you knew what you wanted to do. You knew you wanted to buy a house. You knew you wanted to get a job that could sustain you.
I knew I wanted to be a truck driver, because when you're in the Fed, you're around men from all around the world.
Right.
So I spoke to different guys, and I was going to start a business.
Right.
And I was speaking to guys about different businesses, and it kept going back to truck driving. And one man pulled me up in particular, and he said, man, the only job you can go out there and get, as long as you don't get a drunk driving charge, anything like that, you'll always be working, and it's the only job in the world you can be working at and get fired from and be hired within an hour. I said, what's that? He said, CDL.
So you went and got that, and that's.
I came straight home and went to school and worked all those jobs until I graduated. Once I graduated, now I got a job, $80,000 a year. Just closed on over $200,000.
And the house is nice. The house is very nice, and he did it all the right way. I mean, I've worked with him, like, personally. I've seen his finances myself. I've seen the legitimacy. I just want to make that clear, because somebody can go out and buy a house and they might be like, oh yeah, he's still doing the same thing. But I've seen it. You know, for my own.
She really helped me. She held my hand and walked me through the whole process, and I love her and I appreciate her, and it's greatly You know, you
I'm-
truly appreciate it.
thank
You did
you.
a great thing. I didn't believe the system worked, and I wish I knew then what I know now. And trust me, it's not worth it. Do not go down the road I went down. 22 years is a very long time. Those years will never, ever be given back or replaced. I went to jail. I had no mustache, no beard, no nothing.
Because you
Now
were
I
a
got
kid. Now
gray.
you're a man. How old are
I
you
got
now?
44.
Me too.
Now I
We the
got
same
gray
age.
all over.
So-
I'll be 45 next month.
Okay, well, you a little older than me. So, and that's, I mean, that's what it's about. Like I said, everybody has their own journey. You can't judge a man. I know some people act funny when they realize, I mean, we've had this conversation, like people act funny that know that you've been in jail for 22 years. They kind of don't know how to act. They're intimidated. They're scared. They're nervous. And this is just a guy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes through issues and problems. They might not be to the
Don't make
magnitude.
mistakes or bad
Right,
decisions.
exactly.
How you bounce back.
And like I say, every decision is your decision. One thing can change by just one little choice that you decide to make. And I tell kids all of this time, when I go to talk to children, one decision, one wrong choice or bad choice or whatever you want to call it, that will change the direction of your life. You have to be mindful of the company that you keep. You have to be mindful of what your parents say. You have to realize, like David said, all of this stuff is a facade. The things that you want on the videos and all of that stuff is rented. Some of that stuff is not even theirs. They're
Right.
fronting. So you're trying to achieve this particular thing or all these things, and it's not even real.
And compromise
Right.
your freedom, your life, your mother's life, your girl's life.
For nothing. For
Can I say
money.
something?
Yes,
If
absolutely.
you're just coming home from prison and think that you can't get a job, that there's no way you can make it, and you making a million excuses, I'm living proof.
That
I
you
went to
can do.
school and I accepted every job that came my way to pay a little more. I went from $9 an hour to $11 an hour to $16 an hour, now $30 an hour. So you just gotta have a plan.
And it's been less
execute
than
it.
2 years.
You just gotta believe, man. Have a strong willpower and don't let nobody tell you what you can't do or what you're not gonna do. I'm a man. I stand on my own. I stay by myself, to myself. You know what I mean?
The mind is a powerful thing when
Yes,
you
it
decide
is.
to make your mind up and decide really what you want to do and what you want for your
You
life.
gotta refuse to lose, and you're gonna fall down, get back up, wipe yourself off.
So I just want to really take the time to thank you. Thank you for coming on Conversations and really and
Whenever
telling
you
your
need.
story. And he said that when I started this, I think you saw the first show, you were like, whenever you want me to
I'm
come,
there.
I'm going to come. So I really, and you stood to that. And that's, God worked all that out because
I'm a
his
phone call
hours
away
wouldn't line up to the time I had my show. What'd you say?
Right? I say I'm a phone call away.
Yeah.
It took me twisting my ankle to get in.
Yeah, because he didn't have Friday nights off, and he twisted his ankle at work, and he sent me an email. He was like, "Kendell, I can come on your show now Friday."
Right.
So I really appreciate that. I really,
As soon
really
as
do.
that happened, I said, let me call you.
Right, and I thank you. Like I said, I was trying to help him with his phone because y'all know he been locked down. He don't really know about the technology and the
If
cell
anybody
phone.
know how to help me work this phone, I need you.
He doesn't know. So I want to thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am, I'm here.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
I really appreciate it. And I want you to give thank you, and I want you to give a shout out to your granddaughters. Like I said,
both.
he ruined. Not, I don't want to say ruined. His relationship with his son was compromised by his stint in prison. That relationship is not the best that it can be, but the beautiful thing is that you have your granddaughter. So give your granddaughters a shout out.
They honesty and Dayon, I love you both.
All right.
I'll see you this weekend.
All right, so this has been Conversations. Before we judge anyone's life decision or journey, stop and think about your own life. Everyone has made choices that weren't in their best interest or their well-being. All of us have a family member or a friend who has spent time in jail or prison. No one is perfect. Okay? And that's the thing. You can't be living in a house of glass, what they say, and throw a stone. You can't do that. One wrong choice can change the path of each of our lives. You can dwell on the past or you can move forward towards a better future. David came out of prison with a plan for his life and an opportunity to live a righteous life, and he's doing just that. So I really think that's commendable. He can't ignore his past. He can't ignore that he spent 22 years in prison, but what he can do is continue to make his life better and help those of you that are struggling through the same thing. If you're going to jail or if you just got out of jail, just one last word of advice before we end. To the women that are dealing with drug dealers, to the children, to the men that think that all of this stuff out here is what it's about. Let them know what's really.
It's all an illusion. You can run around and chase behind them guys. That's going to be a short-lived situation. 6 months, a year. But in the end, it's hurt and pain, and you laying in that bed by yourself until you feel like compromising yourself once again because you're addicted to the lifestyle. Work for it.
It's
far
not
more
worth-
gratifying. Can't nobody come in your house and take it. All those cars and all that I had, them white folks came right up in there and drove them off. Yes, they did.
All right, so to me, I would usually, the last question I usually ask my guests is, what does your future look like? And
Lovely.
if you, lovely, and that's what I was going to
Bright
say in one
lights.
word, bright lights. All right, thank you for tuning into
Yes,
Conversations.
ma'am.
It's your girl, Kendell Lanise. And remember, you are a star, so don't let anyone dim your shine. Thank you. Yay. All
Lovely.
right.